an airborne transmitted disease. So that is either directly through droplet infection or indirectly through droplet nuclei and infected dust. Incubation period is 10 days from exposure to the virus to the onset of fever and 14 days from exposure to the appearance of rash. So the rash appears 3 days after the fever starts. It is an RNA paramyxovirus. The source of infection only humans, clinical and subclinical cases. Carriers do not exist in measles. Infective material is the nasopharyngeal secretions which are there in the prodromal phase, and this is the period of maximum infectivity. And after appearance of rash, it rapidly declines. The host factors, all ages are susceptible, but commonly it occurs in very young children, that is 6 months to 5 years, and sometimes may even extend up to 10 years. Incidence is equal in both sexes, and immunity, like any other disease, maternal antibodies persist in the infant for the first 6 months. And other than that, vaccinated individuals or those who have suffered from the disease, they have lifelong immunity. Secondary attack rate is very high in this disease. 90% of the contacts acquired the disease. Environmental factors, it is a disease of winter and early spring. This is the time when most of the viral infections occur. Demographic factors are very responsible for transmissibility, like a population structure. If the population consists of more young children, so there will be more disease. Density of population, that is close together, overcrowding within the houses. These are all factors or influences for transmission of communicable diseases. So the clinical features, first there is the prodromal phase. It begins 10 days after infection. As I told you, it lasts for 3 days and then the rash appears. So there's fever, malaise, etc. And during this prodromal period, there is cough, coryza and conjunctivitis. Vomiting, diarrhea may happen. Complex spot is a very pathognomonic feature of measles. So these are small bluish white spots and they appear opposite the first and second lower molar teeth. Next is the eruptive phase when the rash appears. It is a generalized maculopapular erythematous rash. So it first appears behind the ears, then spreads to the face, then to the body and then to the limbs. That is centripetal distribution. And it occurs after 14 days of exposure or after 3 days of fever. The rash lasts for 5 to 6 days and fades again, starting from the face and then finally the hands and feet. And at that time there is sharp rise of fever. And then finally is the convalescent or post-measles phase. So this time the rash heals with fine disformation of the skin and after that brownish mottling remains. So growth retardation happens at this time, that is the child either loses weight or does not gain weight and there may be failure to recover. Also other conditions are that secondary infections may happen in the form of diarrhea and pneumonia, which are very common in the post-measles phase. Then complications are nutritional deficiency, malnutrition, growth retardation, and vitamin A deficiency is very commonly associated with measles infection. Then secondary infections, diarrhea, pneumonia, very common. Otitis media also happens. And neurological problems can happen, that is febrile convulsions, encephalitis, and a very specific feature is, though not very common, subacute sclerosing panencephalitis may occur. So this is the kind of rash that happens in measles. So, and this is complex spot. So it appears opposite the lower second and third molar teeth. Treatment, there is no definite treatment for viral infections. Only management of complications can be done. So management of complications in the form of supportive care like fluid, nutrition, etc. should be looked into, and specific treatment for any secondary infection that might happen. And a very important measure is vitamin A supplementation, because as I told you, vitamin A deficiency is very commonly associated with measles. So vitamin A supplements, 2 doses given 24 hours apart is recommended, and this prevents vitamin A deficiency, this prevents eye complications, and it even reduces mortality. Prevention is by isolation of the patient and prevention of other children to come in contact. So this is how the transmission is prevented. And other than that, protection of the susceptible host, that is by vaccine. So measles vaccine, measles rubella vaccine. This is currently included in the national program. Earlier it was measles vaccine in the national program. Currently it has become a combined vaccine, measles and rubella. I'll discuss this vaccine later on. And post-exposure prophylaxis can also be given. So children who have come in contact, if they are vaccinated within 3 days of exposure, then measles can be prevented.